You know, whenever you're at a green light and the car in front of you ain't moving and you're thinking about beeping your horn? Next time you might want to think before you go ahead and beep it.
I don't think you really know what a bad day is. But you're gonna find out.
What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, FACCI'S Fudge Monster Cinema. On today's review, I'm going to be reviewing 2020 Unhinged, starring Russell Crowe, Karen Pistorius, and Gabriel Biteman. Directed by Derek, looks like Barty. This is another recent film that I'm finally catching up on. I've been wanting to see this for a very long time, and I must say I loved it. I honestly loved it. The minute I was done watching it, I wanted to go ahead and throw it back in. It was an adrenaline rush. It was intense, and it was badass. And if you haven't seen it, definitely give it a watch for sure. But this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out, and then come back and see if we got the same kind of thoughts on it. The story about this one is a young woman who is terrorized by what seems to be a mentally unstable individual after a road rage incident. The opening of this movie showing, you know, what's going on in America, with how people just lose their temper so easily, like all the injustices and whatnot in the world. The opening did a damn good job of showing what it is like in America at this point, with people's tensions running high and road rage incidents and, you know, racism and everything that's going on, political differences. It was a really good intro that, you know, showed exactly what's going on in the world and that we need to change because we need to be better and not what was displayed in the film. Opening scene in this one, you see a man, Tom Cooper, who's played by Russell Crowe. He goes to his ex-wife's house, breaks in, kills her new boyfriend with a hammer, and then sets the house on fire and just hops back in his car calmly and coolly, drives away, and you know what happens when you're driving away and the house is on fire. You get that house explosion, like in every film, conveniently. House explodes, just shows him driving away without a care in the world. He's divorced, obviously. Tom feels like the world doesn't even see him. Like, he's invisible. He's not appreciated by anybody. The world's out to get him. So all this shit's just building up in his head, and he just needed something to set him off. And that's pretty much what this movie is about. The other character in this is Rachel, newly divorced mother, taking care of her son Kyle. I don't know if she works at a hair salon, but I know she is a hairstylist, having a rough time making money. Doesn't have a lot of clients, and then the client she does have, she loses because she's gonna be late, not showing up on time. And it's just one thing after another, and it's starting to get to her too. So this movie's pretty much just a crash course with two people that are just mentally drained. They don't think that anybody's there for them, that anything's gonna work out. So it was just a matter of time before they collided, and it just happened they collided with each other and did not work out well. They're at a traffic light. Tom's in front of Rachel. The light's green for a while. She's getting pissed off, like most people do when they're at green lights. She decides to beep the horn, but it's not like a, you know, beep beep, like a little love tap. It's a freaking wail on the horn and shit, and then she speeds off around them. Honestly, like if I'm at a green light, I'll tap it real lightly, but I'll never lay on the horn. I just don't trust people these days in society. You never know what they're gonna do. You don't know if they have a gun. You don't know if they're gonna get out and punch you in the face or whatever. And it's just not worth it to me. I mean, those couple minutes that you're gonna be late or whatever, it's okay not dying for it, you know what I mean? She speeds off, and then here, look in the rear, here comes Tom, pulls up beside him, tells him to roll down the window, says, "Hey, I'm sorry back there, I just like dozed off, wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Hopefully you're able to do the same." And then being in the bad mood that she is and snotty. Gives him attitude, says she has nothing to apologize for. It's the wrong thing to say to this man. Pisses Tom off. He says, oh, I'm gonna make you apologize, and I'm gonna make sure you have the worst day of your life. And that's one crazy ass stalker, because that's exactly what Tom does the rest of this movie. The rest of this movie is his pursuit of Rachel and killing and terrorizing anybody that's close to her in this film. Russell Crowe's performance was amazing. It was fantastic. I mean, I've never seen him like this before. It seems like something that could definitely really happen. Unstable man in this freaking unstable, crazy world. Just one wrong thing snaps, sets him off. I could totally see it. And Rachel should have just apologized, even if she didn't want to. Just say, you know what, I'm sorry as well, sir. You have a great day. And move on, and none of this shit would have happened. But gotta be stubborn, gotta be proud, and this is what happens. Obviously, there's a lot of chase scenes in this movie since they are driving cars and whatnot. An awesome scene was at the gas station. Rachel had to get some gas. She went in, looks outside. Who's behind her? Tom. But when she wasn't looking, he snuck in and stole her cell phone. And then he dropped like a burner phone in the middle console. The people inside are like, hey, do you need me to call the cops or anything? She's like, no, that's okay. And then the guy walks out with her and whatnot. He's like, hey, buddy, you made the right choice not following her anymore. And then he like kind of blocks the road so that Tom can't go after Rachel. I should have figured he was going to try to run that dude over with the car, which he does. He hit him with the car. But the next part I did not see coming. After he hit that dude with the car, he's skidding up in the middle of the road. Another car comes out of nowhere, smashes that dude in the middle of the street. Didn't see it coming at all. Actually jumped because I just really didn't see it coming. It was intense. This whole movie is one intense chase.
I got your plate right here.
I dug it. I know it's not a slasher. I know there's not a lot of blood and gore in this. Obviously, this is just an action thriller. But damn, I thought it was crazy. Russell Crowe, do not fuck with that dude when he's mad. Like I said, more chase scenes. He will not let up. He will find her no matter where she is. He has a tracking device set up because the whole movie, they think it's the burner phone that he's tracking her by. But since he has her phone, she has a tablet in her car. He can locate it where she is at all times, as long as she has that tablet. And that's how he's able to find her every single time. She needed to go meet her divorce attorney. They were going to go have for breakfast, and she needed to talk. Obviously, Tom knew that. He had her phone. So he goes and meets that attorney. His name was Andy. He says, hey, I'm Tom Cooper. How you doing? Acting like he knew who Rachel was. So Andy was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he snaps right in the middle of the restaurant. Freaking chokes the shit out of him with his own tie. Beats the shit out of him. And is talking to Rachel on the phone. And she's saying, no, put him on the phone. Put him on the phone. Everybody in the restaurant is looking and recording and shit. I didn't see this coming either. Pulls him down. Pulls a knife. Right in the back of Andy's neck. Right in the middle of the restaurant. And just gets up on his cell phone. Walks out like nothing. A little concerned why nobody tried to stop it. Why no surrounding customers tried to do anything about it or call anybody. I mean, I kind of can agree. He was a big-ass dude. He was scary. You don't want to put your life at risk to get killed. I understand that. So it's kind of 50-50 on that if you try to help or don't. A little confused also why some of the customers were still sitting there eating. Like they weren't even getting up to leave when he was doing this. They're still sitting there eating. Dude, as soon as I would have started, I'd have been out of there real quick. But that's just a little nitpick. Still a great scene. Intense. Rachel doesn't believe that he's dead. Wants to put him on the phone. She's like, I can't. She's like, why? Because he's already dead. And he walks out. He's still on the pursuit. He calls Rachel again. He's like, who do you want to die? Who do you want it to be next? So she gives him a name of a lady, the haircutter appointment she had, the client, they canceled. But she called the police to go there first, and he knew she was going to do that. So where did he go? Her brother's house. Her brother Fred. And beats the shit out of his fiance. And then Fred picks up a knife. He brings out the fiance. Keeps ramming it on Fred, holding the knife like this. So he blames that kill on Fred. Ties Fred to a chair. Puts him in gasoline or lighter fluid. Sets his ass on fire. But luckily the police show up, shoot Tom, put the fire out, and you don't know if Fred lived, died, or whatnot until the end of the movie. He's just there to take out everybody. And honestly, if I was in this situation, I don't know what I would have done, to be honest. I guess probably went to the police right off the bat. I mean, if stuff happens to anybody else, it's your fault, but at the same time, it's not your fault. You can't control what this crazy Tom's gonna do. Because he's fucking all over the place and he doesn't give a shit what he's doing. He will kill anybody, he will hurt anybody. He's mentally unstable and he really needed help, and the world was not there for him, and this is what has become of Tom. Rachel and Kyle are still getting chased by Tom. He's in a minivan now. I guess where her mother lives is kind of like a maze, so they figured out this way to lose him within the maze because they know where they're going and he doesn't. They lose him, they go to her mom's house, they hide Kyle in the attic, and she's waiting for him. Tom finally drives around, he sees the car, knocks out what we think knocks out Rachel in the driveway. I don't know why she wasn't more prepared for him to get there and have some other kind of weapons or whatnot, and why people always hit people with things. It's like fire pokers whenever there's a sharp end, you could just stab them with them, but I guess that's another nitpick in movies. I don't know. The end of this third act is pretty intense. Tom's not fucking around. He's even willing to kill Kyle, like a 15-year-old kid, strangling him with a cord and shit. And that's when Rachel has to suck up anything she got. She's a hairdresser. She sees this nice sharp pair of scissors. They're battling back and forth. Turns around, she jumps. Boom! Stabs his ass in the eye with those scissors. And obviously he didn't go down because he's a big ass dude. He's not dead yet. Not dead yet. Until she mocks him. Tells how he was like, hey, give me like a safety beep. You know what I mean? Like beep. She's like, oh, you want one of those? Boom! Kicks those scissors fully into his eye, into his face. Dead.
Here's your fucking courtesy tap.
This is another story of a survival of a woman doing everything she can to get out of a deadly situation. And once again, like in Alone, it paid off for the woman, for Rachel. She did it. She survived. She saved her son Kyle. She got rid of the crazy road rage guy who can't do that to anybody else ever again. And then they learn that her brother Fred did not die. He survived as well, which was awesome. It was a happy ending in this one. I mean, sometimes you want a bad ending, but this one you wanted Rachel to live. You wanted her to defeat Tom and get out of there, and she did. And she was badass the whole movie, definitely. Ending scene, she's driving, a car goes through like a red light. She was thinking about beeping, but she held off. And Kyle's like, "It's a good thing. Good thing you didn't beep." I know the horns are there for a reason, but I just don't trust to use them. Crazy world we're living in, crazy people, crazy things. I just don't want to take that chance. I'm not willing to beep just to get shot, or hurt, or stabbed, or punched, or whatever. I know, different thing. Maybe you do. Maybe you like to beep the horn. I don't, because people like Tom Cooper, they're out there in this world, and I'm not willing to meet them. But I thought this movie was intense. The chases were great. The characters were great. It felt like something that happens in real life. Tom was a badass. I would never want to meet that dude in the streets. Like I said, watched it. My wife didn't like it. I fell in love with it. I wanted to watch it again. I still want to watch it again. It was that good to me. It was probably my favorite movie of 2020. A lot of people had The Invisible Man up there and whatnot. I would have Unhinged as my number one movie from last year at this point. I would give this, honestly, on enjoyment alone. I know it's going to be high. I rate my movies differently, you know what I mean, from the slashers and Halloween and whatnot. I would honestly give this probably a 4 out of 5. No doubt. I definitely think this is a purchase-worthy movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Believe me, you will have a damn good time. You'll enjoy it. And if you don't, let me know. And if you have seen it, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think, if you like it or not. And we're going to keep out pumping these beautiful fire videos, my friends. And keep an eye out pretty soon. Filthy with Facci episode 3 with our special guest Jason Smith from Sinister Cinemas. Can't wait to dive into that shit. It's gonna be amazing. But thanks for checking out the review for Unhinged. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. And don't you dare beep that horn at that green light. Have a scary day.